Here we can start our journey of learning English language by first of all clearing our concept about parts of speech, that what are parts of speech, what is the function of words and where and how to use those words, because there are mainly 8 parts of speech, namely nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjective, prepositions, conjunctions and interjections, and यही words हैं जिनको use करके we communicate with other people, इन्हीं को use करके we make sentences। और इसी वजह से सबसे पहले हमें इनका कंसेप्ट क्लियर करना है कि nouns क्या होते हैं, pronouns क्या होते हैं, then adverbs क्या होते हैं, ताकि हम correct sentences बना के अपना meaning convey कर सकें। So when you would be sure about every part of speech, its function and usage, then you can move on to the sentence structure, which explains where each part of speech can be placed in a sentence, कि कैसे हमने किस जगह पे सेंटेंस में कौन सा पार्ट ऑफ स्पीच जो है वो ऐड करना है in order to form our sentence. There are 5 main components in a sentence: subject, verb, object, complement and adjunct. You can structure the sentences in various patterns like sometimes subject plus verb, इससे भी आपका एक सेंटेंस बन जाएगा. By adding subject plus verb plus object, इससे भी आपका एक सेंटेंस बन जाएगा. Then further moving on, subject plus verb plus object and complement, इससे भी आपका एक सेंटेंस बन जाएगा. Subject plus verb plus object and then adjunct, ये भी ऐड करने से आपका एक सेंटेंस बन जाएगा. फर्दर जब हम इसको डिस्कस करेंगे तो हम वन बाय वन इन सारे सेंटेंसेस की टाइप्स को, इनके स्ट्रक्चर्स को, इनके पैटर्न्स को देखेंगे. Then types of sentences is the topic you can look into once you are done with sentence structure. There are 4 types of sentences: assertive or declarative sentences, interrogative sentences, exclamatory sentences, and at the last, imperative sentences. So as far as sentence types are concerned, there are 3 main types of sentences: simple sentences, compound sentences, and complex sentences. अब ये जो complex sentences है, ये simple और compound sentences हैं, इनको हम क्यों identify करते हैं sentences को on the basis of clauses and phrases जो उनके अंदर होती हैं, जो उनके पार्ट्स होते हैं, जिस पार्ट से सेंटेंसेस बनते हैं, वो हमारे पास कौन कौन से पार्ट उसमें मौजूद है, उनके बेस पे हम उनको फर्दर डिवाइड करते हैं कि ये सिंपल सेंटेंस है, इधर कम्प्लेक्स है या फिर जो है वो कंपाउंड सेंटेंस है. Other than that, tenses should be the next in line whenever you have to learn English language, because they are one of the most important topics in English grammar. Without proper knowledge of tenses, you will not be able to communicate in a meaningful and sensible manner. There are 3 tenses: present, past and future, but they are further divided into 12 tenses forms: simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous forms in each tense, because there are 12 tenses that we have to deal with. Then further on, active voice, passive voice, figures of speech, idioms, phrases and clauses are topics that can be learnt a little later, as these components are used to modify and garnish your language. Further हम अगर अपनी language को flourish करना चाहते हैं with new words by adding different sort of elements and ingredients, तो हम use कर सकते हैं further clauses को, phrases को, idioms को, figures of speech को, and then we use active and passive voice sometime as well. Then as you work with these grammar topics, try reading short stories, descriptive, informative write-ups and newspaper articles, and make attempts to identify the different grammatical components you have learned so far. उनको लर्न करने के बाद ट्राई करें कि डिफरेंट स्टोरीज और डिफरेंट ग्रामर टॉपिक्स पढ़े, उनमें से आइडेंटिफाई करें कि यहाँ पे कौन सा पार्ट ऑफ स्पीच यूज हो रहा है, इस पूरे सेंटेंस में वर्ब कौन सा है, नाउन कौन सा है, ये हमारे पास सिंपल सेंटेंस बनता है या ये कम्प्लेक्स है. यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई दिस थिंग्स. इन दिस वे यू कैन लर्न दैट कि मैं किस लेवल पे जा रहा हूँ, आई एम लर्निंग, माई कंसेप्ट्स आर क्लियर और नॉट. And then while reading those kind of newspapers or short stories or either different kind of paragraphs, check for the parts of speech, identify their function, find out the sentence pattern used, determine the tense and try changing it to different tenses to see how the meaning will change. In order to know कि क्या आपको tenses आते हैं, in order to know कि क्या आप एक अच्छा sentence बना सकते हैं, जो sentence आप पढ़ रहे हैं, try to change its form, try to use different sort of tense form, मतलब उसमें different verb की जो है वो form लगाएं, because we can change the tenses by adding new helping verb and verb form, क्योंकि verb form और helping verb से ये हमें पता चलता है कि कौन सा tense यूज़ हो रहा है. By doing that you can change the meaning चेंज कर सकते हैं, उसका जो है टाइम चेंज कर सकते हैं, because if there would be any sentence of past continuous tense and if you are gonna change it into present continuous tense, तो meaning जो है वो चेंज हो जाएगा. Then work on reading passages and try answering questions to check how much you understand. Passages को read out करें और इसमें सारी grammar जो आपने learn की उसको apply करने की कोशिश करें कि how these sentences are made, which type of words are being used, which part of speech is here, what kind of idioms, phrases and clauses are here that are in use. So that was all.